Et salut à tous, c'est Captain et je suis ravi de vous retrouver pour l'épisode 6 de cette série sur The Council. Dans cet épisode, on devrait en apprendre plus sur l'endroit où se trouve notre mère. Puisqu'on doit trouver le labyrinthe. Non, pas le labyrinthe, n'importe quoi. En fait, l'épisode s'appelle le labyrinthe, donc ça m'a déjà une erreur. On doit trouver une statue qui porte une épée. Donc on va s'en occuper. D'ailleurs, on va demander, je pense, au serviteur.
What can I do for you, sir? I am at your service day and night, sir.
Could you tell me where this sword comes from, please?
Certainly, sir. How did such a sword come into sir's hands?
Listen, my good man, I'd gladly stand here discussing matters all day long, but I'm terribly pressed for time. Your petty logistical concerns are of no interest to me. I asked you a question, and I'm still waiting for an answer.
Do please excuse me, sir. If I were sir, I would look in the garden. This sword looks like it's from the garden statues.
And how can I get into the garden?
There are two ways, sir. The first way to get to the garden is by the hall, between the conference room and the portrait gallery. The second way is directly through the portrait gallery. Sir would just have to go out by the French windows.
Thank you, my good man.
Est-ce qu'on peut passer par là? Du coup, je pense pas. Hein. On espère qu'il manque d'énigmes. Merde, faut pas me laisser entrer.
I am sorry, sir, but the conference room is under preparation and is consequently inaccessible to guests.
J'ai oublié. Let's go the other way.
Lord Mortimer certainly has a taste for staging rooms.
Non, on peut pas sortir par là de toute façon. Je sais pas si vous êtes d'accord avec moi, mais je trouve que les siestes c'est fourbe. Je veux dire, ça sort de nulle part, mais pas vraiment parce qu'en fait, je viens de faire une sieste là, pas en sortie de vidéo, mais en gros, j'ai enregistré la dernière vidéo, je suis parti manger. Et après, bah, à cause de la. Parce que je pense que j'avais trop mangé tout simplement, je me suis retrouvé avec une envie de dormir, j'arrivais pas à résister. Du coup, je suis allé dormir. Faire une sieste, mais j'aime pas faire les siestes, surtout en week-end. Parce que je trouve que le week-end, ça prend vraiment trop de temps sur le temps libre. Ah, quelque chose là. Et surtout quand vous êtes entre guillemets comme moi, où vous voulez enregistrer le plus de vidéos possible, faire les siestes c'est vraiment chiant. Et parfois en plus, le problème c'est que parfois les siestes me donnent des migraines ensuite. Plus tard dans la journée. J'espère que ça sera pas le cas, mais. Parce que j'avoue que j'aimerais regarder un match de League of Legends là, qui va commencer d'ici 1h45, donc je pense que enfin c'est même sûr, je vais record là et arrêter ensuite. Enfin, arrêter pour regarder le match, et j'espère que la migraine n'arrivera pas. Parce que j'ai tendance à avoir beaucoup de migraines. Donc
The sword probably came from this garden, but what could it have been used for?
alors, du coup, si on est face à un labyrinthe, il y a des chances que je me perde en essayant surtout de chercher des objets en fait. Genre la gelée royale, ce genre de choses. Parce que là, j'ai vraiment. Ça va être un enfer, il va falloir que je cherche dans tous les coins là. C'est problématique parce qu'en fait, je vais même pas regarder le labyrinthe ou quoi que ce soit, je vais. Là. Ok, on va. Là. Thanks. Si c'est à toi.
Icarus.
Son of Daedalus and Nocrate. Impossible to mistake him with those wings. After flying too close to the sun, they came unstuck and he fell to his death. Pity. If I remember rightly, Icarus was the son of Daedalus. He found himself confined to the labyrinth with his father after his father betrayed Minos. And his father's plan to escape from the labyrinth wasn't any more successful. Man, that kid was jinxed. Well, let's keep going.
Ok. Ah, il y a quelque chose là.
A Byzant from the Byzantine Empire. A coin often used during the St. Louis era.
Est-ce qu'on peut aller par là? J'ai pas l'impression. Pas non plus. Là, pour le coup, ma souris est rechargée, donc les mouvements de la souris sont un peu mieux. Ça peut être sur lui, non?
Asterion. It is rare to see him like this. In general, he's represented with the head of a bull, with the features of the Minotaur.
The famous son of Minos and Pasiphae. Asterion was a son of Pasiphae and Minos, or rather the result of a curse put on Minos.
Minos was punished for betraying Poseidon. Of course, as strangely it often happens, it wasn't he who was punished, it was his wife. She had to mate with a bull, no less. From that union, Asterion was born, who everyone knows as the famous Minotaur. Rejected by Minos, he was shut up in the labyrinth so he could never leave. And, as if that wasn't bad enough, he died by the hand of a hero desperate to restore his reputation. Technically, Asterion is the victim of the story because he's described as a child cast out from birth. Born from an extramarital union because of the errors of his father, he was treated as an outcast all his life. And he died as innocently as he was born. A tragic story, as the Greeks knew how to do so well. This statue has a crack in it. Right. We'll soon see. Sorry, Asti. Yet again, your story does not end well.
Ok. J'ai combien de 2, 5, 5?
Great. Honey. Minos. Son of Zeus and Europa. If I remember correctly, he was the king of Crete. Married to Pasiphae, he had many children, including the famous Ariadne, whom history remembers for her thread. Hey, there's a crack in that statue.
Ah merde. Non, pas.
The crack is in the region of the heart.
De toute façon, c'était pas du tout sur celle-là, du coup. Fallait mettre.
Theseus, son of Aegeus. He's the one who slayed the Minotaur. Looks like a crack has been made on his torso.
Je pense pas que ce soit lui.
I wonder if Mother managed to solve this enigma.
Bah, évidemment, j'ai envie de dire. C'est quand même pas des trucs à récupérer. Je pense que j'ai plus ou moins résolu l'énigme. Mais... il y a un fil, hein.
Daedalus. He's the architect of the labyrinth. And if I'm not mistaken, he's also the father of Icarus. Hey, there's a crack in this statue too.
C'est-à-dire qu'il faut vraiment tester sur chaque. Ça risque d'être un peu fastidieux là. J'espère que je me suis bien que j'ai bien réussi ce que je voulais faire. L'avenir nous le dira. vais tricher avec toutes les pièces que je chope quand même. Où c'est là? Attendez, c'est le début, non?
Ariadne. In Greek mythology, she helped Theseus get through the labyrinth. Looks like there's a crack in the region of the heart.
Il y a son fil, hein, mais... Oula. Ah, mais du coup, si elle est... Là, j'avoue que les bugs peuvent être chiants parce que dans un labyrinthe, on est assez facilement désorienté.
Well, Monsieur de Richet, what brings you here?
I tell you what I'm looking for, Monsieur Perru. Will you promise to keep it to yourself?
Hell no. And anybody who gives you a promise like that is an unmitigated liar. Trust no one, Monsieur de Richet, or you'll soon be a dead man. I bid you good luck. You'll need it.
Attendez, parce qu'il s'est ouvert quelque chose, mais je sais pas où tout à l'heure. Je vais terminer. Pardon.
Golden elixir.
On peut pas récupérer le livre? Bon, je suis arrivé par où? Je sais plus. Par là-bas, hein, ça. Où est le centre? Enfin, non, je sais où est le centre, mais où est... comment y accéder plutôt? Et le pire, c'est que faut que j'accède au centre. Mais ça se trouve, j'ai pas été au bon endroit depuis le début. Donc faut que je retourne chercher probablement l'épée. Ah, ça s'annonce comme un sacré foutoir, dites-moi. Ah, là je suis au centre. Le centre. Je sais pas. Qui est là?
Pasiphae, daughter of Perseus and sister of Circe. She married Minos and became the queen of Crete. She has no cracks. All right, let's continue anyways. I wonder what this kiosk is doing in the middle of the garden. Too cramped to be able to do much. Well, there must be something going on there.
Bon, le fil arrive là, donc on est sûr que c'est là. Plus ou moins, on est plus ou moins sûr que c'est là. C'est un escalier, hein, clairement.
What is that? It's like a sort of opening mechanism. Knowing Mortimer, I bet it's booby-trapped. There's a little hole at the fingers. I'm pretty sure if I get it wrong, I'll get pricked. Damn you, Mortimer. Reminds me of traps I studied in Egyptian tombs. Knowing Mortimer, I bet it's booby-trapped. There's a little hole at the fingers. I'm pretty sure if I get it wrong, I'll get pricked. Damn you, Mortimer. Reminds me of traps I studied in Egyptian tombs.
Je fais quoi?
What's wrong? Either I'm imagining things or my hand was pricked. It had poison on it. My head. I feel hot.
Fuck.
It's up to the just to deliver judgment. Truth unlocks all possibilities. It looks like this slab moves. Well, I wouldn't be surprised if there was a passageway underneath it.
Bon, Faut que je retrouve... Attendez. C'est à lui que je dois mettre l'épée du coup, j'ai l'impression. Le fil arrive là. J'imagine que c'est à lui. On va tester.
Asterion.
J'imagine que c'est à lui, mais je peux me tromper.
Theseus. Looks like a crack has been made on his torso.
Ok, maintenant, on va plus suivre le chemin. Dans le milieu. Ensemble. Est-ce que c'est le bon? Parce que... D'accord que là, en fait, le câble, il fait le tour pour aller jusqu'à TC après. Donc théoriquement, si le câble indique quoi que ce soit, ça devrait être ça, quoi. Non, c'est pas ça. Bon, et bah c'est pas TC. On va en prendre un autre. C'est pas grave. Par contre, j'en ai vraiment beaucoup à faire, quoi. Il y en a une ici aussi, hein, je crois. Putain. Shit, il y en a même un là. Donc le fil ne résout pas les énigmes. Donc voilà, bien engagé, si je puis dire.
Let's try something else instead.
Parce que je vois, pour le coup, l'énigme, je comprends pas non plus. Je sais pas où est-ce qu'elle veut me mener en fait. Cette énigme.
Minos. The crack is in the region of the heart.
Nice. Ça c'est moins nice par contre ce qu'il y a en dessous.
Again?
You can't be serious, Manuel. You know that's not going to happen.
You must leave me alone now. I have agreed to everything. Even to...
Agreed? I wasn't aware you had a choice.
What's going on here?
What now?
C'est.
What else must I do to win back my freedom?
Obey me. Now get out.
What was that? That's the third time in 3 days.
Et à chaque fois c'est avec Grégory ou Sir Holm. Et il se tenait la tête comme s'il avait lui aussi eu la migraine. Donc, je me demande si ça vient pas de là.
Let's see if you're in there, Mother.
Voici dans les souterrains de la maison. Pas du manoir.
Amber.
Oh, nice. Désolé si vous avez entendu du bruit, c'est mon radiateur qui se trouve là.
Bandages? Someone's been patching themselves up. Looks like my mother took advantage of being in hiding to change her bandages, huh? This is silk. She must have used her own clothes. These bandages are pretty basic. She'll be lucky if she doesn't get an infection. There are patches where the blood isn't totally clotted. That's a good sign, right? She changed them recently, which proves she's still looking after herself and still believes in her chances. Well, I'd love to tell her to keep hanging in there.
Sauf si elle a tué à peu près tout le monde. Hein. Serviteur.
Damn it, Mother. Now what's happened?
Quelqu'un derrière lui.
Don't move!
Wait, I'm not armed.
Who are you?
Good God, Mother, what have you...
Tell me who you are!
Ok, un épisode rapide. Allez, allez. Yes. Fait un peu de ça, pardonnez-moi. Diversion, je suis déjà niveau 1. Politique, je pourrais passer. J'aimerais bien peut-être aller en sciences. Ah, ninja! Est-ce que je fais le ninja? 3 points, donc j'aurais pas assez de toute façon. Là, j'aurais assez pour passer au-dessus. Là aussi, remarqué. Ok. Ah, c'est la fin de... Ok. C'était la fin de l'épisode. Ah oui, il y avait que... D'accord, il y avait que deux... Il y avait que trois épisodes. Là, il y en a que 3 aussi. Let's go. Mais je pense du coup officiellement au milieu du jeu. Non, pas encore. À la fin de cet épisode, on y sera.
The only thing I can tell you is that Sarah had indeed changed. In your opinion, why would your mother remain in hiding over several weeks?
You must leave me alone now. I have agreed to everything. Even to...
But you do realize your mother will have to accept the consequences of her acts.
I hope that your search will prove successful and bring Sarah back to us soon.
I'll be leaving now because whatever it is you're up to, I do not want to know.
Since then, we have become one and the same. We have officially erased the identity of my sister Emma. Emily Hillsborough, the woman with 2 faces.
Everyone seems to be a little unnecessarily heated. Don't forget where you are, please.
D'accord, tout le monde est réuni au même endroit. Nice.
Don't move.
Wait, I don't...
So you've come at last.
Easy. Let me turn around. Oh my god, Mother, what has happened to you?
Who are you?
What? But, Mother!
Who are you?
It's me, Louis, your son.
No, you lie. You won't catch me out like that. Louis isn't here. He obeys his mother. He would never have come here.
Mother, I don't know what you've been through, but lower your arm, please.
You think I was born yesterday, do you? But it won't work.
I'm begging you.
One day you will fall.
Mother!
Why are you here?
Let's go, Mother. Let's go home.
In all my heart, there's nothing I want more. But I know you won't let me leave. You are evil incarnate. Every word that comes out of your mouth is sharper than a razor blade.
I don't wish you any harm. Really, Mother. It's me, Louis.
Don't speak to me about him. You will never get him.
Mother, stop torturing yourself. It really is me, Louis. How can I convince you?
If you really are who you say you are, what was the saying I taught you?
You've been telling it to me since I was 3 years old, Mother. How could I ever forget it?
Always keep your mind rational. And open.
You knew it. You are smart. You're getting me muddled up. Tell me, rather, whose place were we at when I told you I was coming here?
Mother, I really am your son. You can't trick me. We were in Paris. We were investigating an art dealer.
His name?
I just told you, you can't trick me. His name was von Borchert.
My God, everything is lost then. I refuse to believe it's really you, Louis. Otherwise, all this would be for nothing.
Mother, I don't know what happened to you, but don't worry. Everything's going to be fine. I'm here for you and...
No! I ordered you not to come with me.
I received a letter and Lord Mortimer informed me of your disappearance. So I took the...
No! 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 It's not true. It's a nightmare. Don't tell me that. Have you spoken to him?
Oh, shit. She's completely panicked because I spoke to Mortimer. It seems she's afraid of what he might have said to me about her.
Did he speak to you?
Mother, I don't know what you're imagining, but don't worry. Everything will be all right. If you're worried about what I might think about Elizabeth Adams, honestly...
Oh, Louis! Elizabeth is the last of my worries right now. I did what I could for her, but it was too late. Very well. Rational and open, Louis. Since you arrived on the island, has anything strange happened to you?
Depends on what you mean by strange.
Est-ce que j'ai ces... Est-ce que j'ai ces immunités ou pas? Fuck. Ah. Bah, apparemment, ce n'est pas.
Do you want to tell me about your relationship with Elizabeth Adams?
Louis, I don't know what you found out, but just know that I did everything I could to help her.
How can you say that, Mother? I saw the scars, the tattoos.
You weren't there, and you don't know what that child suffered every day. Now shut up and listen to me. We might still have a chance. Something of utmost importance is going to play out right here.
What are you talking about?
A conference, Louis. I should think all Mortimer's guests have arrived by now, haven't they?
Yes, they have. Since this morning.
Perfect. The conference will be able to begin.
Indeed. It shouldn't be long and...
Let me finish. We haven't time. You will attend this conference, and you must find out what Mortimer is up to. Don't trust him, Louis. Understood?
But what's it about?
No matter. I'd wager it's about a vast acquisition of some territory in North America. This, however, is not the issue.
But don't you think that...
Louis, I made a mistake by coming here. We are in the lion's den.
What do you mean?
Mortimer, Holm, their guests. Watch what happens. Do you think it's normal that the representatives of the most powerful nations are here all on their own without anyone else? On an island in the middle of nowhere in total secrecy?
No, not really, but...
Louis! They shape the world. They manipulate us. Everything is decided here and now. They create and break states, provoke wars, destitute governments, or decide who will be their leaders. Open your eyes!
Mother, calm yourself, please.
Nothing is impossible for them. They are capable of reaching everyone, wherever they may be. Through high society banquets, they model the future of us all. And it isn't at all an issue for them.
And? What do you propose?
It's time to act, my son. You will go to this conference, and from the inside, you'll do everything you can to prevent Mortimer's plan from going ahead smoothly. We can talk later. I'll explain everything.
But why?
Do as I say, Louis. It's of the utmost importance. Beware of Mortimer. He won't let anything stand in his way.
You promised me that after...
Yes, after. Go now.
Yes, Mother, I'm going. One more thing, Mother. Emily Hillsborough, Emma's sister, came to this island looking for her sister. She probably won't hesitate to take revenge and...
It's the signal that the conference is starting, Louis. Don't be concerned about the Duchess. She's the last of our worries.
Ah, le truc qui est bizarre, c'est que... Et même qui est pas logique, c'est que... Enfin, elle a dit... en gros, elle veut que qu'on fasse attention à Lord Mortimer parce qu'il contrôle le monde via un ordre secret, mais l'ordre doré, c'est plus ou moins ce qu'il faisait aussi, non? À moins que j'ai mal compris le rôle de l'ordre doré, mais... Il me semble, non? Regarde, tu peux pas, c'est pas là. J'espère juste que j'aurai pas à refaire cette énigme plus tard. Par où déjà? Et j'espère surtout qu'elle va pas me faire des énigmes pour qu'on la retrouve une nouvelle fois. Ah, ça me prendrait les couilles. Personne ici en fait. Non. La discussion est donc terminée. Ils étaient vraiment pas loin, ils étaient juste à côté même.
Monsieur de Richet, you're the only one missing at the conference. Please join the guests.
Bah, c'est là, non? C'est pas là le colon? Je sais plus. Est-ce que j'ai une altération négative? Le problème c'est que c'est avec ma caméra, pardonnez-moi, je ne vois rien. C'est bizarre, la scène qu'il y a eu au début de l'épisode 2, l'espèce de scène de prémonition, c'est pas produite, donc celle qu'il y a eu début de l'épisode 3 va peut-être pas se produire. Peut-être que c'est quelque chose qu'on a évité, je sais pas. Ok, on doit parler à un peu tout le monde. On va rejoindre Lord Mortimer, mais d'abord, vous connaissez, on explore.
Amber.
A chest with a motif representing the alchemical symbol of water.
Yes, because she asked him at last, and he could not help answering her, but she said he seemed quite angry at being spoken to.
But it is not sound. No, it is not sound.
Your conjecture is totally wrong, I assure you.
I have suspected it for some time, but now I am convinced.
I have already told her so once, by your desire.
Are you quite sure, sir? Is there not a little mistake somewhere?
Yes, because she asked him at last, and he could not help answering her, but she said he seemed quite angry at being spoken to.
Certainly, sir. Allowing the case, however, to stand according to your representation. You must
Alors, on va parler un peu tout le monde. Bonjour.
My son, glad you're here. It seems Lord Mortimer's been waiting for you to arrive before beginning. What a pity your mother isn't here for the conference. I hope I'll be able to see her before I leave. I still have a very important letter to give to her.
Feeling all right, Louis? You look like you're miles away.
Everything's fine. Don't worry.
Lord Mortimer wants to talk to you, Louis. Don't make him wait.
Indeed, I rather believe he did.
I don't know if you ever found what you were looking for in the garden, but Mortimer is waiting for you. I suggest you get a move on.
You say it as if you were afraid of him. I sense that you have things you'd like to say, but something's holding you back. What is going on between you two?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I believed in him. I followed him to the best of my ability. I championed his ideas, defended his decisions, and then, without even realizing it, I became lost. The siren's song, Monsieur de Richet. You wake up one morning, not knowing where you are, and you think about everything you've done for a man who wasn't even worth it. For a man who has no respect for you, who uses you, and who drops you as soon as he no longer needs you. For me, it's too late now. But you still have a choice. Don't respond to his call, sir.
Are you quite sure, sir? Is there not a little mistake?
Good evening, gentlemen. Are we ready? The much-awaited conference is about to begin?
That is what we have all been waiting for.
I believe that Lord Mortimer wishes to speak to you before it begins. You should go and see him.
J'ai pas vu Napoléon, il y est ou pas?
Is there not a little mistake somewhere?
Yes, because she asked him at last.
Il n'y est pas Napoléon, on est d'accord?
But she said he seemed quite angry at being spoken to.
But it is not sound.
Golden elixir.
But with respect... Ah, Louis, I've been expecting you. Thank you for joining us. We are about to begin our conference. Let me explain what is at stake.
Thank you kindly, but what do you expect of me exactly? My mother's the one who's supposed to attend, not me.
That is indeed what was initially intended. Unfortunately, she still hasn't been found, and my guests can't stay here indefinitely. The conference must begin, and it would be truly beneficial to the Order to join in the project. Consequently, I would like you to replace her during her absence. What is at stake here is of the utmost importance.
It's important that the French Order gets their say. And should you need any advice, don't worry. You are not alone, Louis.
Very well. Can you give me a brief explanation of the aim of it all?
Of course, Louis, I was coming to that. The aim of these meetings is to bring together the most influential people in order to think together about the future.
But the future of who?
Of the world, Louis.
Our desire is to steer the destiny of our respective countries for the good of all, and to no longer suffer the random hazards of history.
In concrete terms, how do you organize your discussions?
A conference is always organized the same way. There are two masters of ceremony who determine an important subject.
You and Sir Gregory, I presume.
Exactly. We shall be the masters of ceremony. It was our obligation to each bring to the table several guests in order to debate a subject. Once the debate is closed, a decision will be made by a vote of all the participants.
By a unanimous vote.
If the project is not agreed on by all, then it will be rejected.
And neither of the two masters of ceremony have the right to vote.
It's up to the guests alone to decide, Louis. In other words, us.
Gregory and myself are merely the go-betweens. Finally, if the project is validated, each guest goes home and starts working to make it happen.
It can take years.
Du coup, j'imagine que là, vu que Napoléon est pas dans la salle, j'imagine qu'ils vont le faire introduire genre en mode c'est lui, le futur empereur ou un truc comme ça, et je veux que Pérou, tu t'en occupes pour qu'il se monte sur le trône ou un truc comme ça, peut-être. Je sais pas.
How long have you been active?
Oh, this tradition has more or less always existed, Louis. It has continued from generation to generation.
Do you often hold this kind of society dinner?
In general, once a year, but in actual fact it tends to be events that dictate our gatherings.
Can you give me an example of an event that was decided here before being implemented in the outside world?
Well, take the French Revolution. It was decided right here 2 years before its implementation in France.
Concerning the case of the French Revolution, I wasn't invited. But as far as the American Revolution is concerned, Louis, I can testify that we planned it 5 years before implementing it, for example.
Louis, let me keep you a moment.
Attention, musique tendue.
I would like to let you in on a secret before we begin, because I'm going to need your assistance. You see, the project I'm going to present concerns the territory of Louisiana in North America. It's currently Spanish territory, and I'm going to make the proposition to the Assembly for it to become French. My idea is to increase the territory of the United States. The first stone of this vast project consists of getting Spain to cede Louisiana to France. Once it becomes French, France will hand it over to the United States, which will then allow them to double the size of their territory. And that's where you come in. France and the United States, hand in hand, two democracies illuminating the world.
J'ai envie de voir quand même si j'ai été immunisé aux sciences.
Lord Mortimer, I'm sure you're aware that Louisiana is hardly prime quality land. I wouldn't be exaggerating to call it marshland. How is acquiring land they won't know what to do with going to strengthen the United States?
Think further, Louis. The United States won't stop there. Once they've acquired Louisiana, nothing will stop them. All they would have to do then is keep pushing toward the west to take the whole North American continent.
So you intend to get rid of the Spanish?
They are purely transitory. This is the settlers' home. It is natural for them to want to develop their nation to become one of the greatest powers of this world. As for the Spanish, there are just a handful of them actually on site. And if need be, we'll see to it that they are sufficiently occupied in Europe so that their focus is not on the North American continent. Moreover, Spain really only cares about its colonies in South America. It's hardly my fault if they are not capable of seeing the potential in the North American territories. The concept of royalty is from bygone times. It is time to lead the way to democracy. Take a look at them. Apart from President Washington, they all belong to monarchies. Do you really think they won't resist? Of course they'll fight, fearful as they are of losing their precious privileges. But the world needs visionaries, like you, like your mother. It's a pity Sarah isn't here to see it. She only knew about a tiny part of the project. I hope I can count on you, Louis. It's time to start now. I must ask you to keep it to yourself for the time being. Take a seat, follow the discussions. We'll have an opportunity to catch up later, and you'll be able to let me know your thoughts.
Blast it, Mother. You didn't know about everything. His project is commendable. Why tell me to beware? Could you have gotten it wrong?
Le truc, c'est que forcément, dans le sens de l'histoire, vu qu'on le connaît, la Louisiane a appartenu aux Français avant de
My
aux
friends,
États-Unis.
I propose we get started.
Donc forcément, ça va se faire, pour le coup.
First of all, I would like to thank you for taking the time to come.
The honor is ours, my lord.
As per our custom, here we are all together to discuss the face of tomorrow's world. Even though there may be certain tensions between our nations, I must ask you to keep an open mind. As Sarah de Richet is unable to be among us, please welcome Louis de Richet, who will represent the Golden Order and will vote on its behalf when the time comes.
Welcome among us, Louis.
Welcome, Monsieur.
I hope he'll be more effective than his mother regarding the protection of the King of France. The Order has proved particularly inefficient.
Come, Manuel, you're not going to spoil our visit. The Order's mission was not to protect King Louis XVI, as far as I am aware.
We are talking about a king of divine blood, for goodness sake. It seemed obvious to me he needed protecting. If the Golden Order wants to pride itself on being an influential organization, it should have kept him alive.
Juste, je regarde une nouvelle fois, j'ai pas d'immunité.
I'm sorry about the fate of the King of France, Duke Manuel. However, I'm surprised at your remark. How can a man like me have changed the course of things where a man like you, powerful, capable of influencing international politics, was unable to do any better?
Perhaps we may begin, Lord Mortimer.
Certainly. I have a dream that our nations will continue to support each other, more now than ever before. A dream that, for the sake of common good, we will do what it takes to ensure stability in the modern world. I have a dream that we shall lead by example and ensure that the American territory may remain in peace.
Thank you for the thought, Lord Mortimer, but I don't see where you're leading.
I'm coming to it, Mr. President. I need not remind you that North America is currently divided between the United States on the east coast and Spain, which occupies the remaining 2/3 of the continent. Well, I propose that Spain cede the center of the continent to France, namely all of Louisiana.
Louisiana? But, well, it is not for sale. Lord Mortimer, I sincerely hope I have not come all this way just to hear you ramble on about what Spain should and should not do. When we went to all the trouble of gaining the territory a few years ago, it was not just to lose it today. Have I made myself clear?
What did I tell you, William? You speak of union, and yet here you are, about to tear us apart.
Duke Manuel, I perfectly understand you. But rest assured, you will soon adore my proposition. You shall see.
Well, since you give me the choice, my good fellow, allow me to doubt it. However, I am impatient to hear what Spain could possibly gain from the sale of Louisiana.
I never spoke of a sale, my good fellow.
What? I do not understand.
There is one more territory left to conquer, if I'm not mistaken, in the northwest. It is, of course, occupied by your notorious Indians, but...
We shall soon be rid of the savages, so that is not the question.
Duke, these savages, as you call them, were there before you. They are on their homeland.
As much as the black people of Africa, Monsieur de Richet. That does not stop your dear France from massacring them and sending them like cattle to Mr. Washington's cotton plantations to provide him with cheap labor. So you keep your morals to yourself, if you please.
Senor, I would not like to be associated with that. The subject of black slaves in the United States of America is a complex subject, which we shall resolve at a future date.
Senor Godoy, you must know that France will soon ban these barbaric practices.
Oh, do not get on your high horse, Monsieur Frenchman. The only reason why France has ceased trading in slaves is because of the commercial blockade that Great Britain has imposed against you. The instant the shipping lanes have been restored, France will again treat these people like cattle.
Come now, my friends. Let us not digress. Anyway, these primitive people have no souls, Louis. We bring the good word to them in order to save them. You'll see. Colonization brings with it many benefits, too.
Excuse me, if you don't mind, Your Eminence, I shall continue. Duke Manuel, I believe that Spain should cede Louisiana to France free of charge.
This is utterly grotesque, Lord Mortimer. What a strange example you set for your young protégé. Isn't that so, Monsieur de Richet? Do you understand anything of this proposition?
Conviction, politique.
We are neighbors, Duke Manuel. Remember, your main rival in Europe is more likely to be England, who is plowing the seas right up your coastline. Hand over Louisiana to France and make her a prime ally.
Come, Louis. Spain and Great Britain are already allies and have nothing to gain by breaking their alliance.
Even if I do agree, Duchess, the omnipresence of the English fleet in Atlantic waters does not particularly please me.
I must say, William, I find your project mostly disfavors me. I thought you were my friend.
And I am, Mr. President. That is why I'm doing everything in my power to calm your expansionist fervor. France, in Louisiana, should persuade you not to attempt anything to take the territory by force. Louisiana is a vast wetland where you would needlessly lose most of your troops. It would weaken you and offer certain nations the perfect opportunity to take back your famous United States. I am protecting you from yourself, George. Trust me.
I understand. But with friends like you, sir, I certainly don't need any more enemies. I hope you know what you're doing.
Am I imagining things, or does it look like Washington isn't aware of Mortimer's plan?
Not to put too fine a point on it, Lord Mortimer, but I doubt the Holy See would be in favor of Catholic Louisiana being handed over to secular revolutionaries and king killers.
I should think Monsieur de Richet has an opinion on this subject, does he not?
On the maps of Italy I saw in Mortimer's secret study, he had anticipated movements of troops across Italy. I wouldn't be surprised if he's planning an invasion of Italy by France, and if I push the notion a bit further, I can well imagine that Bonaparte's cannons, financed by the Order, will be used for that purpose. The noose is tightening around poor Piaggi's neck without him even realizing it.
I don't know if I'm the best person to speak about that, Your Eminence. Honestly, Your Eminence, I really don't see it that way.
Mi auguro che insegnerete l'educazione a questo giovanotto presuntuoso, Sir Gregory.
I hope that you will teach this pretentious young man some manners, Sir Gregory. It looks like I won't be just making friends here.
In any case, my lord, I doubt the English crown will agree.
Ich versichere Ihnen, Emily, nie Preußen wird diese Vereinbarung akzeptieren.
I assure you, Emily, the Prussian will never accept this agreement. Volner looks like he's set on ruining Mortimer's plan.
Duchess, I am persuaded that we shall find a common ground.
That's enough, William. These are grave times. We don't care about the fate of Louisiana. That worthless expanse of putrid swamps interests no one but yourself.
Speak for yourself, my friend.
Hold on there, Mr. Royal Gigolo. Lower the volume, and let Sir Gregory finish.
Holm, Godoy, and now Volner? Mortimer's adversaries are ready to tear each other to pieces, and he takes a malicious pleasure in watching it happen.
How dare
Gentlemen, let us try to remain calm.
There you are, William. See where your projects have taken us, as per usual. Chaos! That's enough. I'm tired. We shall continue this discussion tomorrow, but please be aware that your project will never be ratified. Those who are opposed to this project, follow me. Are you coming with us, Monsieur de Richet?
Come, Gregory, I think Louis would rather stay. Wouldn't you, Louis?
As for me, I think I shall remain with Lord Mortimer, Sir Gregory.
You are committing a grave error, Louis.
Time will tell.
Tout ça, c'est pour savoir c'est quoi son endgame en fait. Parce que clairement, il est en désavantage, il le sait, il l'a fait exprès, mais pourquoi?
My friends, I would like to thank you for staying.
Good God, William. What is this I hear about you reinforcing military power in Louisiana? I have no interest in having France for a neighbor, and you know that very well.
Calm down, George. Louis, explain our plan to Mr. Washington, please.
You see, Mr. President, Lord Mortimer anticipates that once France obtains Louisiana, they will cede it to you.
What do you mean? To us? The United States?
You heard right.
But
President Washington, the United States will double in size.
By what miracle have you...
You need to expand, George. You and France are the two major democracies in the modern world. It is necessary that you both become superpowers.
Are you really going to sponsor democracy throughout the world?
Of course, Monsieur Peru. That's why I don't want Spain to get too attached to those weapons. Please continue, Louis. Explain my vision to Mr. President.
Pourquoi j'ai un plus 1?
By going through France, Spain won't suspect that it's you who's going to take possession of Louisiana. They'll even believe that France will be a protective buffer between itself in California and you on the East Coast. If Senor Godoy was afraid that you might take the territory by force, now he is reassured. You would never attack France.
But why didn't you tell me before?
So that Lord Mortimer would appear to be isolated without support.
Exactly. You got it, Louis.
Lord Mortimer retains the advantage by advancing undercover. And for it to work, he needed you to act surprised.
William, you haven't changed. Always one step ahead.
Mais je comprends pas pourquoi
One
il
step ahead? You're joking. More like 5.
On that note, my friends, it's getting late. Mr. President, continue to take offense over my project when we resume the conference in the morning. You do it to a T. And if Sir Gregory has the audacity to send you an emissary to convince you to go against me, do me a favor. String him along if you can. The more they believe we are divided, the more we'll have our hands free.
Only too happy to oblige.
Now, let us get some rest. We've got a big day tomorrow. Good night, gentlemen.
Good night.
Louis, if you have a minute, I would like to ask a favor of you. I'm going to require your services.
How can I be of help? Tell me all about it.
Our adversaries are many, and the closing vote of the conference will soon be upon us. Time is of an essence, so I'll need you to assist me this evening.
How can I help?
I need you to go this very evening to persuade Senor Godoy to join us. He is the backbone of Gregory's resistance. Turn him round, and all the others will follow in such a stampede that Gregory will be able to do nothing but admit defeat.
Lord Mortimer, with all due respect, don't you think I'm the last person Godoy wants to talk to?
I'm sure you can do it. I believe in you.
Lord Mortimer, you're not telling me everything.
Let's say I wouldn't disapprove if the Right Honorable, though nonetheless choleric, Duke Manuel put you in his bad books. If it could motivate him to declare war on France, it would greatly serve our interests.
War? What do you mean?
I told you before the conference. The more we distract Spain from the Americas, the less it will have an eye on Louisiana.
But all the same, we're talking about a war in Europe.
Don't worry. That's why Mr. Bonaparte is with us. I am convinced we'll be perfectly capable of managing the conflict. And Senor Godoy is not a great soldier. He will not commit Spain to a long war that he won't be capable of managing.
I'll go straight away.
Thank you, my boy. And get some rest afterwards. Big day tomorrow.
Donc faut que je me fasse détester de Godoy, des Espagnols. C'est marrant parce que j'enregistre cette vidéo quelques jours après la Pixel War. Il y a eu, un conflit entre les Français et les Espagnols et on y retourne quoi.
Aren't you afraid our projects for Italy may be discovered before we... Oh. Please excuse us, Louis, but I need to speak with Lord Mortimer in private.
No. What do you want, Louis?
I'm going to have a word with Duke Manuel, but you know him better than I do, I believe.
Yes. Avoid any marks of respect and protocol pertaining to his rank. He's not fond of courtly manners.
Thank you for the advice, my lord. When are we supposed to vote?
The conference resumes tomorrow morning. That leaves little time for the little favor I spoke to you about.
Indeed. I'll go straight away. I shall be leaving you.
Donc effectivement, le prêtre me déteste également. Faut noter ça.
Dante's Purgatory.
Ah, merde.
What is your mind presumed to flight?
J'y vais de ce pas. À côté de ça, on a tout le côté occultiste qui est pas présent dans cette... pour le moment. Vous savez quoi, en fait, je vais pas aller tout de suite. Je pense que je vais arrêter la vidéo ici. Combien de temps que j'enregistre, je sais pas. Ça fait moins d'1 heure ou pas? Parce que là, le truc, c'est que, en fait, en voyant qu'on peut aller dans cette pièce, ça me fait dire que je peux aller dans toutes les pièces. Et donc explorer. Et j'avoue que j'ai pas envie d'explorer et après faire la discussion dans cette vidéo. Donc je préfère garder ça pour la suite de la prochaine vidéo. Si ça fait les... Si ce que je dis a du sens pour vous. Ouais, je pense que je sais ce que je vais faire. Je vais m'arrêter là pour cette vidéo. Elle est probablement un peu plus courte que les précédentes, mais en vrai, c'est celle où il se passe peut-être le plus de trucs. On a enfin le plan de Mortimer. Encore une fois, par contre, je comprends pas en quoi c'est lui sert qu'il soit à désavantage, qu'il soit aussi peu nombreux. À moins que lors du colloque le colloque demain matin, il ait un plan où il révèle à quel point il tient tout le monde par les couilles en mode ok, tu veux voter non? Je te rappelle que t'as fait ça dans le dos de telle personne, tu veux vraiment t'allier avec lui? Ce genre de choses. Je me dis que c'est peut-être ça qu'il veut. Je pense que c'est même sûrement ça qu'il veut. Et son plan, du coup, son but depuis le départ, en fait, c'est de créer une guerre entre la France et l'Espagne, sous fond de... Enfin, du coup, ça l'aide à mettre Napoléon en place, qui va lui permettre d'envahir l'Italie, ce qui permet, du coup, de supprimer la puissance du Vatican. Et de l'autre côté, du coup, il y a la Louisiane qui est récupérée par les Américains, qui fait que les États-Unis doublent de taille. Maintenant, je comprends pas pourquoi il tient absolument... tellement la Louisiane, j'ai l'impression qu'il a découvert quelque chose au niveau de ses terres, et je me demande, du coup, vu qu'il est très basé sur l'occultisme, s'il y a des choses en Louisiane qui tendraient vers ça. Pour moi, ça aurait été plus vers l'Asie, ou vers le Moyen-Orient, ce genre de choses, mais on n'a pas de représentants de ces pays-là. Et ils étaient dans la géopolitique, à ce moment-là, ils n'étaient pas forcément beaucoup impliqués, je pense, les pays du Moyen-Orient. Donc voilà. Qu'est-ce que je fais? Ouais, non, je vais arrêter là. Allez, c'est tout pour cet épisode et cette vidéo. Merci de l'avoir regardé, portez-vous bien et on se retrouve comme vous le souhaitez pour déclarer la guerre à l'Espagne. A bientôt.